Yo, welcome back to the second episode of My Cup is Full, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Now listen, My Cup is Full, again, is a podcast about my anxiety. My Cup is Full, all things that give me anxiety. We're going to talk about real stories that have happened to me on this podcast. All of them are 100% true, with some jokes that I'll add. And I always have a guest that I'm probably a fan of, and just to hear the story for the first time and kind of just get their perspective. And today, back for the second episode, she was here for the first episode. She shut it down. We're here to get the rest of the story. Y'all please get up for Tacarra one time.
Hey, we didn't go nowhere. So how you gonna say I'm back and I got the same outfit on? We didn't go nowhere. We was here. Okay, I need the rest.
Okay, recap.
Okay,
for those who haven't, catch up on the first episode, which is out. Go to My Cup is Full podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, however you get your podcast.
Okay.
Now, a quick synopsis. Was dating a comedian. Didn't know that mama had anger issues. And then kind of slowly found out,
43.
Talked to her family. She's 43. Her family let me know when she gets like this, she's the only person that can settle herself down.
It's dangerous.
Right? So then we get to her needing a place to stay because she's financially in a rut. And I was like, all right, I got you. Right? So you can come stay here for a few months to stack your money. I got you. Just stack your money. In that process, a little difficult, complain about cleaning different things.
Why I can't find this?
Got a dog. She wanted a dog. I found one little Frenchie. Got her a Frenchie. Cool. Right? Ended up getting angry one night and trashing my place. Go look at episode 1, TV, 65-inch peel back, window busted, double window. Like $10,000 worth of damage. Easy.
Yeah.
Laptop looks like a C. Then bit my dog. Kidding about that. But like memorabilia my mom got me, smash, picture frame smash.
She didn't have ass whoop. That's what he's saying right now. All he's saying is, I wish I had somebody that could go to the Comedy Store on the show Murdoch's night and whoop her ass. That's what he's saying to me.
And she stabbed a wall. So now we're here. Because this is what we didn't talk about on the first episode.
This is wild.
This is what we didn't talk about.
What?
I said she was leaving me play-by-plays. Now, when someone's calling me that many times, Tacarra, I don't know how you deal with it. I don't answer.
I block him.
Yeah, I'm not answering you. Literally call after call after call. Like literally over 40 hours, I got 127 calls. And you think I'm playing. I'm not. The voicemails was like this. It went from, you know what, City, you need to come home and realize that you're being silly type shit, right? Then it went to be like, you're fucking her, huh? Just say you're fucking her.
Who?
Then goes, he's fucking these bitches and then wants to make you feel crazy.
Wait, she said that it's like she was in third party?
On a voicemail.
He's fucking these bitches and wants you to feel like you crazy?
He's fucking these other bitches and wants to make you feel like it's you.
You know what, Sydney? I'm going to say this from you as your friend from the bottom of my heart. I'm just really, really glad that you're still alive.
Dog.
I'm just glad
Dog.
that that you're still here and you're breathing and you're in good, sound mind, body,
Dog.
and soul, because that's crazy.
And do you know what? Do you know why I'm alive? Because I got to my freedom.
You got to your freedom. You
And
saw
I said
that
in the
door
first-
said.
you get, whenever this is, any man listening, dog, like she said the first episode, put your ego to the side. Ego for a man. And you should even check it with a man. With a woman, she won. It's cool. Get to your freedom. So I leave, right? Now, voicemails. It goes from that to you fucking her, huh? To this. At 9:56. I listen to this shit like a movie, dog. And when I tell people what happened.
A voice note.
The first thing women say is when I say a woman damaged my place, which is kind of triggering, they say, well, what did you do? And I say, that's a little off-putting to me. You had to do something. I said, man, when I seen the video of Cassie on the elevator.
It didn't matter what she did.
It didn't fucking matter. I said, why the fuck? I said, the first thought wasn't, what did she do?
It's why would you do that?
It's like, why the fuck are you? You know
Why
what I
are
mean?
you so angry? And I think people always ask the wrong questions. But a lot of the time when you're asking this question to women are triggered at the fact that she did this. But a lot of women can see themselves or have done something similar to this. And they still aren't accountable to this day for their actions, which is why they say things like, well, what did you do? Because in their head, I only did this because he did this. There's no excuse. I've been married twice, divorced twice. I ain't never broke nobody's shit. I called, I'm talking to my ex-husband on the phone. I said, hey, I think something happened with Sid. And I told him, and he said, damn, you ain't never broke my shit. And you crazy. Then he crazy than a motherfucker. I ain't never broke nobody's shit. I ain't never called I call people and say, so why should I do today? I ain't never physically put my hands, and I ain't never broke I never got angry to the point where I broke somebody else's shit. So it's just like when I say I'm glad you're okay, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you were mentally stable enough to say, I need to get out the house. I'm glad you didn't go back. No. Because a lot of men would hear the play-by-plays and came back and whooped your ass.
And then another thing, I'll be honest with you, ready? Don't listen to the voice. In a moment of that nature, I don't even listen to the voicemails.
And it's good.
Because I listened to the first couple, and now I don't think you're miraculously going to change. When you call me back to back, to me, it's like a neurotic behavior anyway. Mm-hmm. So I'll deal with that tomorrow. Now, the reason I listened to you that night is because, again, like I said, the first episode, my boy Chris is like my best friend. He works with me and he works with people. Mm. I think the lady's going to hurt herself in their place. Call her. Cool. Now, listen to the voicemails. At 9:56, now this is crazy because I got in the car like 11 to go to James's. So this happened before I even left my place. I was en route to James's house. This is what I hear. At 9:56, I would play it, but for legal reasons, I'm not.
Okay.
It says, okay, Sydney, I hear you loud and clear. Shh, you have a good night.
Okay. 9:56.
9:54, excuse
54.
me. Because at 10:06, 12 minutes later, you hear a person going crazy, like screaming at the top of their lungs, and you hear smashing.
On your voicemail?
On my voicemail. You hear smashing. Fuck yeah. And you hear whatever. I don't know if it's the TV or the window, but you hear something smashing. And you hear this woman like top of her lungs. Then you hear, fuck you. Right?
As if you're there.
As if I'm, no. And then the next voicemail after that is, is crying on it. The next voicemail, Tacarra. The next voicemail, you ready?
I'm listening.
The next voicemail is her crying, saying,
oh,
no worries.
That's me.
No worries. The next voicemail is her crying, saying, Sydney, why are you doing this to me? Now look, now it's the next day I'm in my place. And I'm like, Mama went crazy in here. Mm. Right?
I like how you said mama and I said this bitch.
Oh, my bad. It's like,
this bitch went crazy.
Dog.
You're still so respectful.
So then I'm on some everybody calling me. Like her homeboy called me. Hey, man, I'm sorry this happened. Like, what can I do to get you the laptop? Like, can I help with the laptop?
Buy it.
Her mom is like, we'll get you the money for the damage. I'm so sorry, right? I just need to get her home. I need to get her to a hospital. Then she goes to where she's from. Right, goes back home to her mom's house.
They pay for her to go
there.
They
pay for her to get a ticket to go to where she's from.
Because she's 43 with no money.
Pay for her to get a ticket to car. Now look how the story changed. Get back home, right? I ask, hey man, this is the damage. The mama text me on my phone, voicemail. Hey, Sydney, this is such and such. What's this about you asking? You know that girl ain't got no money, so you need to calm down.
The mother said that? The whole family need an ass whooping, dog. Whole family need to get drop kicked.
I said, the only reason I was asking because she said she would pay back for the damage. I said, I understand what it is. I will no longer contact either one of you. Right? Blocked her mom. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna even be disrespectful to your mom.
Yeah.
Cool. You gotta probably protect your child. Totally understand, right? Now, here's why I'm pissed, right? I'm sitting here, all of my friends are like, call the police. Dom over here, right here. He was like, I called the police, said don't arrest him. When they didn't come and she was acting, he said, Sydney. Dom is like a Mr. Miyagi type ass nigga. Uh-huh. Like he's really, like he know how to box professionally, all that shit, but he's really like a Mr. Miyagi. He don't nothing move him. He was like.
Because when you know your strength, you know what you could do. You don't need to.
Nigga touched my shoulder and was like, Sydney, call again. And I was like, were they going to arrest? Call again. Now I hadn't seen the place, right? So now I still hadn't pressed charges, right? Pissed, right? Now I'm just like, just kind of going through the emotions of that.
Okay, so you walk into the place eventually. Mm-hmm. She's already gone.
Yeah.
You see the place. What is the aftermath? Like once you see the place, you see the damage, you talk to her family, you find out they're not going to pay for shit because they are enablers. And I hope you watch.
Somebody told me
the mama, the cousin, the brother, the best friend. Y'all are enablers, and this is why her behavior has gone on like this for so long because none of you hold her accountable, and you wishy-washy, and you want to make her the victim instead of saying, "Hey, you 43-year-old raggedy bitch,
listen,
you fucked up because you shouldn't do shit like that." Especially for somebody who cared for your raggedy ass And now you somewhere crying in somebody else's house because you ain't even got nowhere to live, bitch. Like, why would you do that?
You ready for this? Her friend called me, right? Her friend called me and said, look, it's like 2 weeks removed, right? Her friend calls me. Her friend says, hey, Sydney, I know what happened. I don't want to get in the middle of it. I say, Mama, I totally understand. I said, what I would like is to arrange for you to come get her things.
She want her stuff.
I said, I want her to get her things. She goes, first, before she said that, she goes, well, Sydney, I know what she did was bad, but it's two people in the situation, not just one. I said, what do you mean? She was like, she wouldn't just do that, right? Like, what did you do to make her do that?
There's nothing. What the fuck?
That's what she
There's
said.
nothing that anybody can do. This is the thing. You can give me a reason to feel away. You can give me a reason to feel crazy. I'm losing my mind. Anybody can give anybody a reason to feel anything. The act on the reason is yours. Somebody can give me a reason right now to go shoot a motherfucker. And I could feel like I'm rightful so. I should kill you. But if I do it, that's my decision to make. So yes, and then when people communicate properly. Yes, you may have given her reason to do this. Should she have done it? No. The reason could have been there. And still listening to the conversation, there's no reason for you to go bonkers.
Oh, there's more.
My dog would have been wearing her shit. I swear to God.
And so that's what, listen, here's where like spiritually I'm like, still do the godly thing.
Yep.
Just because I know it sounds crazy, dog.
Yep.
But I was like, you ruined my shit, right? My blessing ain't in the retaliation to you.
Your eyes was closed when you said that. That hurt you.
Yeah, because I thought about it. Like my blessing is not in the retaliation of you. I didn't have. We'll get another episode. I had family members spend $50,000 for my mama.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
I didn't do nothing to them physically. It's my family.
It's a test.
So, boom. So it's like, to me, it was like, I'll give you your shit. So then this is the crazy part. Her friend says, well, I know you were helping her, but maybe, I don't know, Sydney. She gave me a list of things that she wants from the house. I said, what do you mean? She needs this. I said, well, she texted me a list. I said, so she broke all my shit in my house. And then she gave you a list of what she wants back. I said, now look, everything in that corner she gonna get. But there's no way in hell I'm doing a checklist to make sure.
Yeah.
Her friend comes and gets her shit, all her shit is gone. A week passes by, I'm just like, picking up the pieces literally.
Did she ever give you any money for your stuff?
She gave me $1,000. Then a week later, she gave me, it said 2 of 2 payments, $400. Now that, you do the math, 10,000 minus 1,400, it still leaves what, $8,600?
Yeah, it does.
Right? Nothing, right? Now, my boy calls me. Here's where I'll be honest with you, Tacarra. Here's where I got hurt. The other shit hurt me when I saw you broke shit at my mom's, right? You know what I mean? Me being pissed was like, man, like after I find out all that shit, here's what I will say hurt. Just ready? My boy called me. He's like, yo, Sid, have you heard? I said, what you talking about? He said, Mama called me and said, hey, how come you didn't tell me about Sydney? He said, what do you mean? He's abusive. My boy says, now listen, I've known him for
wait, I got a question.
Go ahead.
I got a question. So this is days later, or weeks later, and she
After it's gotten out what's happened.
Yes. And she called your friend on Facebook or Instagram?
His phone.
On his phone and said, hey, why you ain't tell me Sydney's abusive? That's how she said it.
He says.
And abusive in what way did she?
He says this. He says, such and such, I've known Sydney 2 decades.
You need your ass beat.
He would never do that. So you telling me right now that's a serious accusation. You telling me he hit you. She says, no, I'm not talking about physical abuse, but he might as well have.
You need to sue her. And listen, you know me. I could help you at this point. I'm a lawyer. The way I've been going through legality stuff for years. You need to sue her for defamation of character.
Listen, go tell us. And then he goes, listen. She goes, he got in my face. He said, well, I heard he just left. Well, he did, but before he got in my, he said, so he got in your face? Well, now that he said, Sydney, I want you to know that I know you. You're my boy. I don't believe her. And I could tell she's lying, but that's where she's at with it now. Cool. I even let that ride. Somebody else called me. Another comedian boy of mine said she called such and such. Hey, same script. How come you didn't tell me Sydney is abusive? Now I'm like, I got my joker in my back pocket, right? My third call is my homeboy says she called a woman who I know and says Sydney's abusive. That woman called him and said, she's saying Sydney abusive, right? My joker in my back heart, I always say, is my lawyer that helped me with my divorce of my ex-wife. Who was a black woman. When I heard that, I was so, I ain't gonna hold you, I was hurt.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, dog, when two people don't make it, that's cool, right? It didn't happen. When you break up my shit, and I still, and I know I didn't call the police on you, and I know, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna chalk it up, and then you go try to ruin my name. That part was like, then that's crazy.
But let me tell you what the tactic is today. I'm not going to say no names, but I've been in a very similar situation. The tactic is that when people are wrong and they know that they're wrong and they know that them being wrong is going to get out, it becomes a race to who gets to everybody first. It becomes a race to mess with everyone else's emotions and feelings. Because if I say this about you first, anything you say after that is a defense. And you don't want to always be on the defense. You want to be on the offense. So they're on the offense. She ran and said whatever it is that she said about you, and people believed it. So now when you come to say, hey, this is what really happened, Sydney, she said that you did this and you did that. Well, no, I didn't do that. Well, how am I supposed to believe you? Because now what happens is that when she goes and tells people that, people who don't know you, I've learned that a lot of people prematurely allow themselves to have feelings for things that ain't got nothing to do with them. And not only do they allow themselves to have feelings for those things, they function off of those feelings. So no matter what you say, there are people out there right now, I promise you, no matter what you say, you're going to be abusive. No matter what voicemails you come with, no matter what court documents you bring, you are always going to be abusive in their eyes because she opened her mouth and went on the offense and you were going to be on the defense. And that's why she did it. One, because she knew that the truth was going to come out. And two, because you're a better storyteller than her. So the idea that when you finally do tell your story, it's going to sound better.
Oh, the bid going to be amazing.
It's going to be better.
Yeah.
It's going to be honest and truthful.
Yeah.
So the goal is to get people first for sympathy. So she wants sympathy. Oh, let me tell these people. I love that. But I do enjoy the fact that she says, well, no, he didn't put his hands on me. But he might as well. I'm okay with the fact. I don't like the fact that she says any of it, but the fact that she doesn't double down on that you were physically abusive is one thing.
My boy, our mutual friend in New York. Right?
Yeah, he don't play.
Dog.
When it come to me, baby, that man don't play.
I was in New York doing my show. Right?
Yeah.
And I guess she had a show to her home.
We can't say his name? Okay.
Yeah, Isaiah.
Shout out to Isaiah.
I love Isaiah, dog. I love
Isaiah
you.
do not play when it comes to me.
I love Isaiah. I know Isaiah. I love Isaiah, dog. So, she's doing a show a couple days in New York before me. And he was like, dog, she better not say nothing crazy to me, dog, because like she's been lying, right?
He does.
He said,
cuss you out.
He goes, she walks up to him and goes, Isaiah, how come you didn't tell me?
He said, don't start that shit.
He said, hey, don't start that with me. You
Yep.
ruined that man's place. He said, you ruined things that his mother gave him. He can't get back. He goes, I don't know what would make you want to do that. He goes, I know Sid. And she goes, I don't want to go tit for tat.
You tic-tac-toe 43-year-old raggedy red hair having ass.
Listen, goes like this. He goes, what? She goes,
She gonna see this. She don't like me. I never did nothing to her. Just
she
for
said,
game.
listen,
I never did nothing to
She said,
this
I
girl.
gave him half the money for what I damaged.
Half the money? That's not even, you can't even get the laptop. What do you have, a MacBook Pro?
Yeah.
You can't, that's not even a laptop.
Plus the programs on it. I make money writing. It's
Right.
programs on it.
Yeah.
So, boom. She said, I gave him half the money, right? And she goes, this is what happened. She goes, he was so angry about not getting a writing job that night. I said, what? She said, you were so angry about not getting a writing job that you got in her face. And you were upset that you didn't get the writing job and you're sick and getting passed over on writing jobs, right? Then says, and I was like, and another thing about the Love is Blind. And I was screaming in her face, which scared her, and then I left. He was like, you lying.
That's why I love me some Isaiah, because Isaiah is not just your friend. Isaiah is like your brother. He's my little brother. He knows us. He loves us. He knows the dynamic of us fully. So when somebody come to him with bullshit, he let you know, hey, that's not what it is.
Then she says, I talked to his friend Chris, the one she called. Even he says he's aggressive.
What that got to do with being abusive?
I called Chris. Chris started laughing. Chris said, sir, this is how deep Chris is. You are trying to talk to a person who's mentally unstable and trying to get sanity out of them. He said, stop fighting for sanity. Just let her say whatever she's going to say and you operate in truth.
Yeah.
And I was like, All right.
I told you that. I said,
Yeah.
you said, do I address it? I said, you're a public figure, regardless of whether you want to recognize that or not. And when you're a public figure, at some point you have to defend yourself. Now, granted, you have this is the thing when it comes to this, and it makes it so, and you got to be so careful, is that once somebody's voice is bigger than the other person's voice. Mm-hmm. And when your voice is bigger than the other person's voice, you become the bully.
Exactly.
And you're not bullying them.
Yeah.
You're telling the truth. You're being honest. But your voice is bigger, so more people hear.
Yeah. And my thing is, like, when you were
But
saying...
I'm sorry to cut you off, but you have to address it, which I'm glad you're doing it on the podcast, because there's so many women in the business and men in the business, just people in the business in general, who are a huge no-no to violence against women. And something like that being portrayed about you that isn't true, that can be, you be blackballed and don't even know it. Mm. And she knows that.
Yeah. And
that's what makes it, that's what bothers me. I don't know this girl. I've never knowingly seen this girl and spoken with her. I don't know her. But the idea that you want somebody's career and you want somebody to possibly be blackballed for them taking care of you and you not handling a situation properly is insane to me.
And here's what's very insane. I was telling somebody this, and when I say things, I come with proof, right? So I'll read text messages. Listen to the voicemails. The text message being like, you never guess what the doctor said happened to me. That she went to her hometown, wherever she's from, and it was like, I went to the doctor. It's scary what they said happened to me that night.
No, the doctor said you again, bitch. That's what the doctor said. We here again.
Saying, I'm so sorry. The text message, I'm so sorry. And then to translate all the truth you have in my phone, and everything in the phone
contradicts what you're saying.
Yeah, everything. I literally had to call my lawyer, tell her everything that happened.
I am on a voicemail smashing your shit in the background. I am on a voicemail several times smashing your shit in the back. You can hear me.
The security came to the door. It was his second day on the job. Not to be funny, it's his second day on the job. He called the landlord. They called me and said, Sydney, someone's having a neurotic episode in your place. Tenants are complaining that they hear smashing. You know what I said? Don't call the police. Because in my mind, I ain't seen it yet, but I know you've been arrested before. And I know that'll fuck you up. I'll just chalk it up. On some like, because you know what it is too? When I've been stolen from before, right? This is to be real, right? The damage, you ain't got no money, Tacarra, right? So if you ain't got no money, guess what I'm about to do? What? Restitution, right?
Yeah.
Restitution come off how much money you make, right? So if you already have no dollars, right? I'm going to get what? I'm going to get 30 cents off your dollar, and you don't even have a dollar
coming in. You know that.
That one check, yeah,
and that be your check. And you play if you want to.
Yeah, right. But so it's like gonna take me a while to get that. So then my mind like, I'll just not worth it. And now you doing this, it's like, I as a man, you still got to be in control, because it's like when you get frustrated, is you think you did all the channels right. I walked out the house, I left, got my freedom. I didn't call the police on you because I'm like, man, you would be in a bad situation, and financially I'm gonna be okay because I work, right? I'll get this money back, right? To think like that, to then even be like, I just block you and your mother and your family. I'm gonna go on by my day.
So now I gotta defend my.
So now you telling people, because reality of it is you're embarrassed to admit the bigger problem is mental health.
And that's why I would take her to court. There has to be some consequence to your action. It has to be. I've learned that the hard way. I've said something on social media that landed me where I had to pay somebody $10,000. I learned the hard way. There's consequences. That's why if you don't notice on social media, I don't even be on social media. I learned mind my motherfucking business. But there has to be a consequence to your actions, even for her. Yes, you have mental illness. But you are aware of that. Your family's aware of that.
That's the thing that really makes me mad. I feel like
that.
Your family knew and was on some like, you got a good nigga around you. Cool, he'll just cool. And then when I start putting pieces together, I feel like they was like, oh, he's on to us. And then everybody disappeared.
But I'm not gonna take this. This is the thing. Even like my ex-husband that I just got divorced a year ago. I ain't trash his name on social media. I don't need to. We went through what we went through. It's our business. It is what it is. We divorced. That's cool. I'm not gonna stop your money from coming in because you gotta take care of your kids. Why am I as a woman, not only did I trash your stuff, but I'm gonna also make it my personal business. Ain't nobody reach out to me. I'm calling people. I'm starting this conversation with people And you could have walked up to Isaiah and said, hey, Isaiah, how you doing? I'm good. I'm good. Okay, cool. Oh, I'm on a show tonight. Yeah. Okay. And what about your business? You are making people aware of the fact that you and this man have whatever y'all had. And then on top of that, you're making accusations that are just, abuse is so crazy to me, to say somebody abused somebody.
And it's real, dog? Because I don't even get into
Has she apologized?
Oh, listen, it's all in my phone. I'm so sorry I had to live with this for the rest of my life.
No, I'm talking about for the accusations.
Oh, no. I see. Here's the thing. Her friend called me. A dude that's a male was like, hey, man, I guess she posted on Instagram first. He said, take that down. And she was like, what? You're taking this side? I introduced you to him. He said, you're trying to ruin this man's
43, name. Bro. The fact that she think like this is wild.
He said, you're making posts saying, he said, my last boyfriend was abusive. He said, she goes, I'm not saying physical. He said, you know what that implies? You know that he has a name and you're really trying to ruin it because he goes, he has video of everything you did.
Where's she living at doing this? She just in the airport? Like, where the fuck is she at?
He said if he releases the video and, text messages and your voicemail.
He just in Terminal 6, just wilding the fuck out. Gate 62 set like B.
Dog.
Like, what are you doing?
I was so mad, dog, when it happened the next day. She was like, I slept outside. I said, no, you didn't. So I say all this to say.
What is happening now? Are you suing? Like, if you're suing, and I understand that there may be discretion because you can't necessarily be like, oh yeah, but like, what's happening now? Because, I'm friends with a lot of people in the comedy game. And a lot of people in the comedy game have, just people in general, they've gone through stuff like this. And this is scary because it's comedy. Like, you might see this person. And this person might see you and flinch, or, everybody be like, oh, God, girl, Sydney's here, run. Like, that's crazy to me.
My ex that right, was telling me, she said, now my ex, I
like her.
Shout out to my ex. Good person.
She's a great person. She's fine.
She when we broke up, once we broke up, I asked her to go to my house one day. And I was like, hey, because I was working in Atlanta. I said, the cleaning lady can't come, so I have to hire a new service. I don't know them. So can you just be in the house while they clean for me? Mm-hmm. She was like, I got you, right? So then she hit me and was like, motherfucker. She went through my computer, right? And on Instagram, saw women I was flirting with. Now, I didn't cheat, but it was just all this shit, this chaos. She says, I didn't fuck up your place. And I was in my feelings reading shit. She was like, you didn't even do anything. You didn't cheat on her. You walked out the house. She was like, basically what you're saying, she need her ass beat. She need
her ass beat.
And she was like, she goes, and don't worry about, she's like, what she's saying. She's like,
I'm not going to beat your ass because I don't want to go to, I don't know if we recording this, but in the hood, you get your ass beat several times for shit like this.
Dog, I got family back home. Like friends.
And she didn't even know. Like, where's the what, Sid? Things got out of hand. I could have responded better. There's some things I shouldn't have told you. Maybe I was embarrassed to tell you. I wholeheartedly apologize for my actions. Thank you for leaving the house that day because things could have gotten worse. Like, where's the apology? I apologize for calling you. Why are you calling my friends, bitch? Call your friends.
Her friend called me. He's the only dude to apologize. A person on behalf of, he said, hey, man. He's like, that's my friend, yes. He said, you're a good dude, and what she did to your place was unacceptable. I'm sorry. If you ever want to talk, my voice, if you ever want to talk, hit me. Now, I appreciate it. I'm not going to hit him. You know what I mean?
Why would
but like, I appreciate it. But like, I was really mad at the brother not hitting me. Only because I met him, and he was like a real cool dude. It's
nice
like, oh, bet. And I was just like, but here's the thing. My best friend named Rodney. He got 2 sisters, beautiful sisters. I told Rodney this story. Right? I said, here's my issue is, and I take pride in being a man's man, dog. I take pride in that shit, right? If I got 2 sisters, Tacarra, you my sister, and you did some damage to a man's place, right? The man called me, I'm going to call you, right? Here's why. I'm going to make sure you straight. Even though you fucking up, I got to make sure Buddy doesn't relapse and go back inside because you in an off-kilter state right now, which I'm knowing that often happens. I'm going to make sure Buddy don't go back upstairs. I'm going to make sure my sister's safe.
But the nigga said, I'm going to tap out of this.
And then when I tell you what happened and you don't hit me back, it's almost like you ain't got to pay. He ain't got to pay me nothing.
But this is the thing.
But here, all I want was, hey, bro, you met me. You know, I'm a solid nigga, right? I'm sorry she did that to your place.
But you know what,
and that's it, dog. Protect your sister. Cool. I'm sorry she did that. You ain't deserve that. I'm going to say this, though.
But they tired. Like when I hear you talking about it and I'm listening to you, her family tired. They tired. She 40 fucking 3. They tired. You ain't the first. They tired of having to defend her. They tired of having to fucking, hey, your daughter doing it, your sister at it again. People got lives. People got their own bills and shit to deal with. And here you are fucking up again. They tired. And I'm not making an excuse for them not reaching out to you. One, you ain't their responsibility. They don't owe you shit. But at the same time, they just sound like they tired. Like she be cutting the fuck up. Like she the fuck up of the family. You the one who keep fucking up. And here we are. Don't introduce us to this nigga if you're going to break his shit too.
I'll say this. I'll take
it. Because I'm just sitting back like, how many niggas have called the brother? Like, yo, your sister. Oh, the only person that called. Like, he's got a fucking, he's got a script of what he going to say.
Yeah.
He already know what to say when you call.
When she get like this, she's the only person that can calm herself down.
This is my opinion. It seems like it has happened before. The way the family's responding, they're responding as if this isn't the first time.
Yeah.
They knew to get her a flight. They knew to bring her home. They knew what to say. They know because this is what she do. And it sucks because she's got to be accountable for the fact that something's going on with you, and this is you broke this shit.
Here's where I try to be like,
and left the dog.
Here's where I try to be grown. Do I believe I deserve that? No. Do I believe I did an action to cause that? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. Do I believe that she's lying because she's crazy? Yeah. But here's my accountability. You ready? I believe this happened because I was being disobedient. I believe that up front, I believe my boy Chris was like, well, Sid, no, because A, B, and C. My boy, another homeboy was like, well, Sid, A, B, and C, so hence. And then actions of boundaries, we have different views on boundaries. You're more open. The way you talk's more sexual about like your past, and you okay with that. It's like, that's fine. There was signs that I was still pushing through, and that's being disobedient. And then to me, the disruption is really spiritual of like, you not listening, I will get this place ruined, and now you will be out of it, because if you don't, what if you get her pregnant? I'm trying to prevent you.
Baby, God gonna sit you down. If that's one thing he gonna do, he gonna say, sit your ass down. And you just be like, oh, wow, this chair's comfortable. I didn't even know it was this comfortable over here.
I walk with Dom, true or not. We walking around, I'm like, before this happened, this might not work. The boundaries conversation is too much, and this is
while she's in your place fucking it up.
No, this is like while she's with me, we're together. I'm like, no, this is like a separate day. Like before all this happened, I'm just walking with Dom, and I'm telling him about my relationship.
Right.
Like, hey man, this is the boundaries conversation. We just unequally. She comes off like, I don't know if we gonna make it. Remember, true or false? Not true. We walking around. Boom. Then this happened. I'm upset, right? But the way my mind worked, in that week I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is God. I'm pissed.
Because we just talked about this.
I'm pissed, right? All this shit, I'm pissed. But yes, she has accountability, her mental health. She has accountability, her family. Sid accountability got to be like, I knew that I should be not crazy. I knew I shouldn't have been in this, and I continued. And this is a reflection of God being like, yo, listen, boom.
You know, and it's crazy you say that, because that's how I felt. That's how I felt when I got my divorce. I felt like something happened that made me say, okay, this is not going to work. But prior to that, I knew. Even when the day I got married, I knew the day I got married, I shouldn't be marrying you. And I did it anyway. And we didn't even get 9 months. And God was like, this is enough. And then you know what I've been doing ever since? Sitting the fuck down.
This is my moment.
I just been sitting down.
Sit the fuck down.
And now I'm like, am I bored or am I at peace? Because you're going to get bored.
And I want kids.
How old do you want the kids to be? Because I got a 10-year-old. She pee. She go to the bathroom by herself. It's a perfect stage to get in. We ain't got to do nothing sexual. I just help me. You know, I need the Maria to come to my house if she will. You know,
as a person,
I got to stack my money too. You know what I'm saying? Help me. Why you don't want to help me, Sid?
I'll say this.
You call me your sister. You don't want to help me. Help me.
I have a question for you. You ready? What? As a person who deal with anxiety, I'm supposed to take a bunch of medicine. I kind of like try to do my own shit.
I don't.
What would be your advice to me in this moment now, before we end, on to like advice on just future endeavors or on this situation?
Advice on future endeavors and future situations.
Or on this situation.
On this situation. Or just any situation, just moving forward in relationships and stuff. don't doubt yourself in what you feel. Like, even if there's nothing wrong with being by yourself. Listen to yourself. Ain't nobody gonna love you and care for you the way you love and care for yourself. And that's why when ourselves, and I know it sounds weird, but you gonna protect you, but you gotta listen to you at the same time. And it's okay to fail. It's nothing wrong with something not working, and it's nothing wrong with saying this is not gonna work and moving on from that. Like, I've been single for 1.5 years, and I've been on 7 dates. Not dating, 7 dates. Why? Because I go on a date with somebody and people show you up front who they are. Or at least men do. I can't say women do. And I see it. I'm like, oh, this ain't going to work. And a guy would be like, didn't you have a good time? Yeah, but you said something or you did something that let me know that moving forward at our ages, you ain't going to change for me.
Yeah.
So why would I continue to move forward with you in hopes? And that's something else. You can't change nobody. It's that protective space that comes into you. Women are like that too, especially women who are protective. We meet somebody, we like somebody, we see interest, we see potential. This is okay. I can deal with this. And the same thing you said you can deal with is the same reason why you won't be with them. That same thing you saw was like, oh, she a little crazy. She crossed boundaries. She do. But this was a boundary crosser. You crossed the boundary. Bitch, you Sha'Carri Richardson, the fucking boundary. You ran right through the motherfucking line.
Dog.
You know, so my advice is just listen to yourself. It's okay to be by yourself. And it's okay to meet somebody like them, but understand that that's not going to be your person. And the moment you realize that they not, move in that moment. Don't wait. Because if you'd have moved in the moment when you was talking to him and said this ain't gonna work, we wouldn't even be here. If I'd have moved in the moment without looking at that man at the altar like I shouldn't be fucking marrying you, I wouldn't even been through the shit I went through for the 9 months. So as soon as self tells self this ain't fucking right, it ain't right. And stop being so focused on how somebody else gonna feel. That's my thing. Yeah. Well, if I do this, they gonna be sad.
Yeah, if I do this,
how they gonna
if I do this now, financially, here's the real. Financially, I know you'll be broken. So if I do it now, I'm almost putting you in a bad position.
But are you putting them?
That's my mind that I gotta get out of.
That's in your mind, but the reality is you was already in a bad position. You came to me in a bad position. That's you came to me in your bad, but I'm not responsible for you. You're not my wife. I'm not married to you. You're not responsible for everybody. You can't fix everybody. And sometimes you gotta let people sit in their shit. You can't save everybody. That's my problem. I just meet people, I want to save everybody. And then what happens? I be so focused on other people's feelings. Now look at your feelings. You hear hurt. Apparently you beat bitches. Like I just
right.
You
it's
know
like that. Yeah, my wall stabbed, but I'm abusive.
Your wall ain't even do nothing.
My wall got other stuff. Side of the story.
You gotta buy new shit.
Dog.
You know, it's not worth it. So my advice is, just listen to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like if self be like, Sydney, don't do that. Don't do that. And the first time you feel like it ain't right, we in our 40s. We ain't got that much more times. Eventually the self gonna start repeating itself, and then it's gonna be forgetting shit if you ain't already forgetting shit.
Hey, listen.
2 minutes left.
2 minutes left.
You owe that man an apology. You owe him an apology. I know who you are. You owe him an apology, especially if the stuff that you said weren't true. And it's not going to sit, well, I was going to say it wasn't going to sit right with you, but when you crazy, shit sit right with you when you crazy. You know what I'm saying? You've rationalized your actions, but you owe him an apology. And I hope you get your apology. I hope you move forward with other legalities of the situation and just find some peace, just be by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
You can't even be like, I'm gonna just sleep with you real quick. It never works out that way.
Dog, I believe in that. Every time I'm like, I can't do that.
And I don't know what kind of dingling you got, but I don't want it. That's why I kept saying in here, I'll do all the other stuff. I don't want none of that. Keep that to yourself.
My homegirl says, Sydney, I love you.
I don't want
I love it.
None of it.
I've seen somebody writing your wall. I've seen somebody travel out the state to show up to your mama's house.
I don't want none of that. Whatever you got going on there, you can keep that. Put it in a Ziploc bag and close it with you know how they go from pink to purple? Close it when it's airtight. Make sure it's airtight. No.
My name is Sidney Castillo. This is Tacarra. You've been watching My Cup is Full. I appreciate y'all. Hey, make sure you subscribe. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, My Cup is Full podcast. Hey, follow Tacarra.
It's a picture. It's not even a cup. He got a Kool-Aid picture filled to the top of shit.
It's less of a podcast and more real life conversations with Sidney Castillo. Look, time is at the essence.